Hi, and welcome to the very first issue of Rukus Rules. I'm Joshua Blaylock from Rukus Games, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to be a painter in a vast and beautiful wilderness in Sunset Over Water from Pencil First Games. To set up Sunset Over Water, start by shuffling the landscape cards and taking 25 of them and placing them in a 5x5 grid in the center of the playing area. This is called the wilderness. Take the remaining cards and place them face down next to the wilderness. Next, shuffle the commission cards and place them face down above the wilderness. Draw one more card than the number of players and place them face up to the right of the commission deck. In a solo game, place 3 commission cards. Flip the top card of the commission deck over and leave it on the top of the commission deck. Shuffle the daily goal cards and place them face down near the commission cards. Flip the top card over and place it next to the deck. Each person chooses a color and takes the meeple and planning deck of that color as well as a quick reference card. Put your meeple in the center of the wilderness, shuffle your planning cards and lay them face down in front of you. Sunset Over Water is played over 6 rounds. Each round includes a simultaneous planning phase, a trek phase where players take turns performing 3 actions, and a cleanup phase. In the planning phase, players draw 3 cards from their planning deck. Choose one of these cards to use and place the other 2 at the bottom of the planning deck. Each planning card has 3 sections. The top section determines the time of day which you will wake up. Players will perform their trek phase turns in order based on the wake up time. The middle section shows all directions in which you are allowed to move your meeple during the hike action, and the amount of spaces you can move. And the bottom section shows how many landscape cards you are allowed to collect this round. Once all players have selected a planning card, simultaneously reveal those cards. In the trek phase, players take turns performing actions. Compare all players' wake-up times. Those with earlier wake-up times will perform their actions before those with later wake-up times. On your turn, perform the following 3 actions in order. During the hike action, move your meeple according to the move arrows and the number to the left on your planning card. You may only move in the direction shown on the arrows, and may move up to the number of spaces shown. You may pass through but may not stop in a card occupied by another player. You may not pass through or stop in an empty space. You also may not change direction while moving. During the paint action, you may collect any cards that you moved through, up to the number shown on your planning card, including the one where you started and the one where you ended your movement, as long as it does not contain another player's meeple. Place all cards collected face up in your play area. A player may sell as many landscapes and gain as many commission cards as they want and are able to each turn. To gain a commission card, you must discard landscape cards with symbols in the top left corner matching those on the commission card. The picture frames on the commission cards determine both the number of cards that must be sold and the icons that must be on those cards. 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards. Must have only this symbol. Must have only one of any symbol. Must have these 2 symbols plus any other symbol. Must have this symbol and may or may not have other symbols. You may not claim the card on the top of the commission deck except in solo mode on day 8. Place all acquired commission cards face up in front of you. Finally, check the daily goal and see if you completed it this round. If so, take the card and place it face up in front of you. If another player already had the card in front of them, take the card from them and place it in front of you. Before moving to the cleanup phase, check to see if you have already played 6 rounds. If so, each player should only have 2 planning cards in their planning card deck. If you have not yet played 6 rounds, perform the following actions. Draw landscape cards and place them in every empty space in the wilderness. This should be done left to right, top to bottom. For any empty space with a meeple on it, place the card underneath the meeple. If at any point while drawing landscape cards the deck is empty, reshuffle the discard pile to form a new deck. Remove any unclaimed daily goal card from the game, and reveal the next daily goal card and place it next to the deck. Finally, replace all claimed commission cards, then flip the top card of the commission deck and place it back on top of the deck. If you are unable to replace all commission cards, the game ends immediately. If the game is not over, start the next round, otherwise score the cards in your collection. Add up the values on all of your commission cards, add the values on daily goal cards you've collected, then gain 1 additional point for every 2 icons on unsold landscapes. The player with the most points wins. If there is a tie, the player with the most daily goal cards wins. If there is still a tie, tied players share the victory. Well, I hope you enjoyed that look at how to play Sunset Over Water from Pencil First Games. Feel free to write in the comments below and let me know what you thought of this video as well as anything else that you would like to see on this channel. I'll see you next time. Until then, Rukus rests.